Today, I'm going to attempt to answer a very difficult question. Can you achieve the same success from the past without understanding them? And when I say them, I mean the digital customer. Now, I want to take a couple of steps back and really reflect on the evolution of business over the past 15 years. If we think back to just over 15 years ago, I don't know what it was like for you, but for me at that point, I was working with Disney. I was traveling all around the world. I was working out of China probably about 3 or 4 times a year, and business was great. And, markets were booming. And then in 2008, there was that financial crisis that brought disruption and enormous challenges that then defined what happened in the 2010s. New industries exploded. Entirely new ways of working and consuming became commonplace. Now, during that time, I was going through a bit of a personal life shift. I stepped into the digital world around about 2007, but that whole 2006, 2007, 2008 was a real life shift for me. I was getting divorced. A very close family member passed away. As I said, I mentioned, I had loads of fun working in Disney, but I saw the disruption of the financial crisis happen globally around the world, and especially with what we were doing then, working out of China and selling products globally. So I was able to transition out of that, if you like, physical world into the more digital world. And with that disruption came an opportunity. And that opportunity for me was creating a technology company, built a business with a very clear focus. It had a unique value proposition. I got investment into that business, got it valued at £1 million in less than 2 years, had a whole team, office down in Shoreditch. I was really kind of living that dream of building a technology company. And so from what I saw happening 2007, 2008, I was able to then step into this technology world of understanding that digital customer. Over the last 18 months has brought a lot of challenges once again, and emotions that have never been there before. So my question to you is, what's going to come over the next decade? What further challenges or disruptions are going to be there? It's going to be exciting. There's going to be new trends that are going to be coming out of this. We've maybe become a little bit more highly adaptable. We're working in more of an agile way. So we understand that things need to change and we have to move and shift according to those changes. But new generations have stepped in since then. And as you know, I've got a couple of little girls, age 2 and age 4. They are Generation Alpha. They're the new way of thinking, the new way of working. Yes, there's loads of data out there about millennials, but what about this new generation that's coming into the marketplace? So if we know how the different generations in the workplace are thinking, if we know that at the moment, then there might be a different way to actually understand how you can connect with this digital customer. So welcome to the rise of the digital customer and how you can connect with what you do to help them with what they need in this digital world. So I want to give you a bit of a framework, and a framework that when I built my technology in 2010, I really got to understand the power of. And that was working in beta. When we built the first iteration of our digital product, it was working in beta. All the clients we onboarded at that time understood that we were working in beta. When I got my investment into the company, we then evolved into a different platform, a SaaS platform, which was created, and we were working in beta. So nearly 11 years ago, I really embraced this context of working in beta. And what I want to do for you today is give you a bit of a framework around what working in beta means. I want to start off by just sharing a quote with you. quote with you from someone who's been formidable in the social space, a guy called Reid Hoffman. And he said, permanent beta is essentially a lifelong commitment to continuous personal growth. So if we can continuously work in beta, knowing that there are going to be challenges, there's going to be changes, there's going to be opportunities, whatever is going to be in front of us, we're in the right mindset to understand what working in beta means. So I'm going to take you through the framework of working in beta. The B, blurred boundaries. I'm sure you've seen it, whether it be on your Facebook stream, you've seen individuals talking in a certain way around their attitudes to what's happened over the last 18 months. You think about LinkedIn. I saw a post the other day from somebody actually saying, this is not a business post, but I want to congratulate my daughter for beating cancer. It was a post that was on LinkedIn, a business-to-business social network. And yet he was humanizing it. He was telling his story around the challenges that he'd been going through, and he wanted to share it. That got thousands of likes and hundreds of comments. Working remotely, the blurred lines in regards to what can I humanize, what can't I humanize? The stories that we've all heard about, and I'm smiling right now because one of those stories was me. Yes, Mr. Cass saw me naked in front of the camera. The blurred boundaries, things that you shouldn't really see with business partners, but he got to see that. And there's also someone else with us today that I've heard a little story about, but I'm sure we'll hear about that later on. Those workspaces where there were people there, they were being creative, they weren't being creative. People always on their smartphones. There's a blurred boundary in regards to the way that we as individuals or consumers now engage with people. I had a conversation with my neighbor the other day, and he was like, I don't know how to talk to people anymore. I've lost that skill of connecting, engaging, very simply building rapport. So what does that mean when it comes to the digital customer? Those boundaries have been blurred. What can we do to humanize the technology? The E in beta, evolving. Evolving our personal identity. It's one of those words that, I did a quick search on Google, and the particular word identity being used online, a huge growth over the past 18 months of that particular word being used. People want to understand it more, define it more, make it more personal to them. A lot of people starting new chapters in their lives, having to go through the process of evolving their personal brand and realigning those professional aspirations. So working in beta is about evolving. The T, tech native. If I give my iPad to my 4-year-old, guess what? She knows how to use it. She knows how to work around it. She picks up the control to go onto Netflix. She's flicking around. She knows what she wants. She even knows where inside of a particular episode she wants to get to. They know how to use this technology. But we, different demographics, different age groups, have had to evolve into understanding the tech. I'm standing here today with you. I've got lights, I've got 2 cameras, I've got a couple of mics, I've got 3 screens. That was something that I never had before. So the use of technology has been like we've never seen. Remote working, using social media, the time that we're spending inside of LinkedIn, the shift between demographics. I read an article, 2 hours and 40 minutes compared to some of the younger generation, the millennials moving up into kind of more, if you like, my generation, where you're looking at only 50 minutes, the amount of time that we're spending using social networks. Embracing artificial intelligence, whether or not you realize you're using it, you are using it. Organizations like Amazon, like Netflix, like Uber, they are using this tech to help you and help you decide what you want to do. If you've watched a particular movie, guess what? Netflix is going to recommend you another movie. Going online, buying online. We're still working actually with a bank. I've got 2 days left with them at the end of this month. And I've been working with them for 8 months over in Saudi. And I took them through a process of how you can unlearn, relearn, and then master that new learning. And I asked a very simple question. What is the one thing that you're doing now that you didn't do pre-pandemic? It was quite unanimous. The choice of buying online. One of the guys actually said, I walked into one of our, big chains over there and I couldn't find what I wanted because I've got so much choice when I go and buy online. So now I'm buying online. What are your target audience doing? How are they being more technology native? And if they are being more tech native, then we need to have a bit of a personal touch for our brand when using that technology. And finally, the A, the working in beta. The A, the activist. Is that you? Is that us, the consumer? You, the brand? The activist going out there, creating values in this environment at the moment? Do we want brands to be more transparent? Do we want brands to have more accountability with what's going on? Well, if that's what our values and that's where we're sitting right now, then yes, we do. That transparency is key for us to stay connected to those brands. So as an activist, not only do we as the brand, but also our customers, consumers, followers, engagers, eyeballs, whoever those individuals are they being the activists around redefining who they are? So that if they've redefined who they are, does your brand now connect with who they are? So that's your working in beta framework. The B, the E, the T, and the A. I want you to be thinking about what that means for you moving forward when we're thinking about our brand and how we connect with our target audience. Mr. Barnaby Winter, who's on here right now, might recollect the old traditional ways of the 4 Ps, where it's all about the product, the price, the placement, and the promotion. Well, guess what? That digital customer kind of doesn't really care anymore about those things because they spend more time doing what they want to do, finding out about you, researching about an industry. The data now shows we're up to 11.4 times. When I wrote my book back in 2015, we were at 9.2. It's evolved. We as consumers want to spend more time researching. Is this brand connected to my values? Are they being transparent around what they're saying and doing? So we need to embrace not the 4 Ps, but the 4 Es. We need to engage more. We need to offer a better experience around the customer journey, around who we are. People want a little bit more exclusivity, and they want that emotion. They want to get connected to your brand and to who you are, so that then ultimately that allows them to buy into your products and services. The most successful brands don't just offer physical or digital products, but they offer those great experiences that are built with emotions, because stories really resonate. So now is the time to get intimate. We want that customer intimacy. If we realize that engagement is key because of those new attitudes, if emotions are important for people to get connected to the successful things that are going on in your personal life. So it's not just about the demographics anymore. It is about those behaviors and those attitudes. It's about where people are hanging out and what are the different types of content that they are now consuming and what are their buying habits. So I just want to kind of sum up for you that we need to be humanizing different aspects of the customer journey. You need to step into your telling your story and understanding that it's not going to connect to everybody, but that's okay. I used to be a professional hip hop dancer, often gets brought up. I'm a beekeeper. I've got 100,000 bees. I've got 11 chickens. I've got 2 kids under the age of 4. One of them was through IVF. That's part of my story. What's your story? I want you to find your story and find the balance of who you are to connect with that digital customer. So I just want to share 3 things with you very quickly. The first one being a touch of creativity. If you're a creative person, great. You're creating content, videos, and how other people can connect with you and how you can help them. But you need to step a little bit more into the analytical thinking, understanding how many people commented on your content, who are those new visitors coming to your website, and ultimately look at it with the eyes of, if it's working, great, continue doing it. You're working in beta, and that's okay. If it's not working, stop. Stop what you were doing, re-engineer whatever it is that wasn't working, and think about it differently. And the third one is have a permanent eye on change. Accept change is here, embrace it. Once you have that mindset, it allows you to fail because you're working in beta, and it also allows you to start to rebuild your business again. So to sum up, I want you to work in beta. I want you to build a business that's driven by purpose, that connects with the values of your customers. And I want you to measure that data, sprinkle a little bit of analytical data on what you're doing at the moment.